Okay. Once again, I just want to remind everybody, bathrooms are down the hallway. Basically, past Miss Allen's sign there and to the left. Like I said, if you get tired, you can stand up and cell phone's off. I'm tweeting something, but yeah, go ahead.
You're going to find Twitter is a big thing with USA Football, and I never knew how to tweet until we got to training back in March, and it's actually kind of a cool deal, but if you don't have a Twitter account, we'll show you how to set one up. But a lot of information is going to be tweeted out on a weekly basis, just to the back, and it goes back to the skin on the forehead, because the back one is going to adjust the pads here, so it's going to bring the pads in here tight, and also front to back. And then the one on the top is going to adjust how high it sits on the head. So if it sits way high, make sure all the air is out and sit it lower. And this is going to adjust the fit on the front and the back. And you want it snug, you don't want it too tight, but you definitely want it snug. You know, so as you're seeing the skin crinkle and you're seeing the skin crinkle on the cheek with the jaw pad, if you have adjustable jaw pads. Same thing if you're snapping in jaw pads. You got to make sure that they fit. Some kids are going to be an inch, some kids are going to be a quarter inch. But you got to adjust to make sure that that's in contact with the jaw. And I'm glad that we're done with the old VSR4s and the adjustable jaw pads, and now that we can pump them up. But that's the thing as we go throughout the season is, say they're a medium and you need to pump them up some, because they got a small peanut head. Or they're on the cusp between a large and a medium, and they're a little bit bigger than a medium, but a large is pretty good size. You got to make sure that we're checking that air weekly, because these valves will leak as we go throughout the week. And I don't do a good enough job of it. I always have a pump with me every single day in practice, and kids will come over and I'll give them air in the back or whatever. But one of the things that we need to do is talk to the kids about the importance of making sure that helmet fits and fits fairly tight and snug. And kids are coming to me all the time throughout practice. I give pumps to the other coaches. They don't ever bring them out. So they come to me every single day, and I'm pumping helmets up. And it's important that we do that. Game day. Every kid and their mother comes up and wants me to adjust their helmet pregame. They don't do it in the locker room pregame. They do it as we're warming up and doing all that other stuff. So just going and checking and walking up and saying, okay, we're going to do a helmet check. So you grab the face mask and you make sure that you see the right parts of the skin movement. It takes 5 minutes a week, and you're going through, maybe it's your walkthrough day. It's Thursday or Friday for a Saturday game, whatever your walkthrough day is. You got a helmet on and say, we're going to do a helmet check with you. Okay? It takes 5 minutes. But you go through and you make sure that air is pumped up. And like I say, the air is a good and a bad thing. You can take that off if you want.
Thank you, William.
A question.
You're taking it home? Yeah, go ahead right here.
Yeah, on that rivets you're talking about for that helmet. Is there, can you buy it at the sporting goods store where you can put them on yourself?
No, I would recommend that you go through your helmet manufacturer.
Right
so
there.
if it's Riddell,
Yeah.
get a hold of your youth. You'd have the contact for the youth Riddell rep in the state. I would pass that out to your coaches and visit with him about it.
Get a director from around.
Yeah, exactly correct. Okay, I would strongly suggest you do that versus going to the store and then who knows what you get. And then you need supplies, and then you go back there and then they don't give you supplies. So you don't have any supplies because they're all out. Okay, but we're starting to see more and more rivets, okay? And a couple things just to wrap up what Coach is saying. When you get your new kids out, when they come out for football, please understand that you show them how to put the helmet on. So it's index fingers in, thumbs out, and they go backwards at an angle, up and down. They just don't try to take the helmet and put it straight down. We want them to work angle 45 and down as they pull down, okay? And then when they take it off, obviously, index fingers in, pull it out a little bit, and up and off, okay? So they're just going to reverse it back off, okay? Any questions on helmets? So you guys, you had a question before. Did he get it answered? What's? Yeah.
So the biggest thing is just making sure you adjust it,
Yeah.
that they fit properly. And I grew up, when I was in high school, there was the old sized helmet, so you get a 7 1/4, 7 1/8, whatever. And our head coach, it was a brand new high school, and he put it on our heads, and I tell you what, it was like a vice grip. And very few of our helmets fit. Well, it's got to be tight. Well, break it in. It's one thing to get used to a helmet, it's another thing to break it in. Those helmets don't break in, they're not a pair of shoes. So I can tell you that by the end of 2 days, I had a scab on my hand right here where the skin rubbed off. They were so tight. So you got to be careful. If I know they sell the different pieces in there to adjust them. Are you talking about like the Air Edge or one of those?
No, I'm talking about the shoot.
The old shut?
They'll shut them.
So I know they sell parts that go along in there, just making sure that they fit correctly. And just like we had talked about, if they're on the cusp, they might have to go a little bit tighter than being too loose.
No, it fits correctly, but you know, you all the time, the jaw pieces will pop off and
Yep.
all this, you know.
And it goes back to just equipment check. So if you're talking to your parents about it, and you know this doesn't have a whole lot of screws on it anymore, but making sure that they do that. Check their jaw pads before they get to a game. You know, the walkthrough day. Check your jaw pads. Check inside, make sure everything is where it needs to be and that it's secure, because it's all Velcro, right? So making sure that it's where it needs to be and it's attached properly. You know, and that's one of the things you sell the parents on. You know, check your kid's helmet every week before the game, or you know, check it once, whatever you may do with it, but get them on board. No, they should be okay. I mean, it's almost like buying a cowboy collar or buying a pair of spider pads, is really what that is. The key is just making sure the pad still sits down. And depending on the pads, these channels, go ahead and take those off. Depending on the pad, some of these channels in here, and this doesn't allow you to do that, but some of these you're able to Velcro in and out, move around, so that it does a good job of covering and sitting up on the shoulder some. So depending on the pad, those are important. And then you want to make sure that these, you know, the deltoid pads and everything are attached and that they're covering the right parts of the shoulder. One thing that I know that our kids do, and I'm sure all kids do this, they want to tuck their jerseys up underneath here. And I keep going around and taking it out for them, because I explained to them this: if these are flapping, and I know it's hot during practice, but if these are flapping, all you got to do is flap up, take a shot right here, and the shoulder pad doesn't do anything for you. So I've become the fashion police and have to explain to them that by you tucking that up underneath there, you're killing me. You know, and they do that. They slide it up underneath there, and these are flapping out. Well, your shoulder pad no longer works. And like I say, they're not worried about safety. They're worried about comfort and being warm and all those other things. So we make sure that we take care of that as well. So that's another important piece with regard to the shoulder pads, is making sure that they A, fit, and B, they work properly because they're doing things the right way. Any questions on shoulder pad fitting?
I have a question, Coach. How long should I wear my shoulder pads? How long are shoulder pads good for? You're telling me 10 years on the helmet?
There's no expiration on a shoulder pad. You know, the key is, are they starting to get beat up, and are these pieces tearing off, and those kinds of things. And same idea with the inside, is that breaking down? Are those pads breaking down? One thing, as you store things as a league, and my Rydell guy showed me, store them upside down. So even if you have the helmet or the shoulder pad racks that you put them in, still put them upside down. And the main reason, I guess there's two reasons: it doesn't break down the inside padding as quickly. And the other thing, think about this pad if it was at the very bottom of a rack. What does it do? Okay, so these pads at the very bottom are flat. How easy is that to get it back after it sits like that for 9 months, to get it back to where it needs to be? So that also hurts the fitting portion if this is at the very bottom of the rack. So we do it upside down, and they fit a lot better that way. And like I say, they don't put pressure on the actual padding as far as breaking down and that kind of stuff. Any other questions, comments?
There's gonna be some things about getting the shoulder pad stuff also on the video.
Yep. And it should be in your deal there, and it also, there's videos on the USA Football dashboard of the website.
Yep. And on the app too. They have it on the app as well. Equipment fitting on the app.
Oh, you ain't got your guy. For real.
Shut up.
I should have. Look, old grown pal.
Oh man, they think you.
And they think you like them. We ain't like them.
Yeah.
And I'm right in the middle of it.
Right. Yeah.
Rough.
Come behind this grass, you gonna be sick.
Huh?
Come behind all this grass, you hit some of that ragweed, you gonna be sick. Can't do none of that. I just had shoulder surgery.
Oh, shut up.
Yes, sir. To my put the arm man like that, shoot. I can't do none of that.
Mississippi Youth Football Association and the USA Football and the NFL. Safety workshop.
Well, for years, we've had our own safety training, but we found this group.
That feels more natural than out here.
I ain't coming. I ain't coming. I'm gonna let y'all do it.
Good job, guys. Good job. Good job.
No.
Then, as a progression, you add the second step. So we start here, and I rip through. I'm rolling my hips. Now I'm taking my other step through as I follow through the tackle. Then maybe you add a third step. There are a lot of ways you can progress with this, but the first thing is just taking that first step with our right. And then same thing, just like we talked about inside, taking our step with our left. So we're doing both the right and left step. So go ahead, take your group through that, rotate guys through as they're coaching through the hip. And then we'll move on.
And then, so when you get in there,
Hey,
hit,
you gonna
squeeze,
try?
sink, hands, and then it's just hit, 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 hit. Okay? So let's roll through that two times each way. Leading with your left foot. We've talked about it. Lead with your left foot.
What kind of insurance USA
Place to the
Football got?
left. Huh?
What kind of insurance USA Football got?
Sink, hand, step left, step right,
Small step, only 6 inches. Small steps.
step right.
Coaching right there is too wide. Just here. This small step. Just gonna come back with the next step, and that's gonna be the one that's gonna generate the power. You get out here like this, everything's gone. Yeah, everything's gone.
Man, it ain't this much liniment in mine.
All right, let's go.
It ain't this much liniment in mine.
Teach kids to be in a perfect situation to hit and to tackle.
And last thing for you, Wayne, how often
First thing
do you
Coach
guys
is doing right now.
I guess you go all the way.
Tell me.
It is, and there's clinics starting in last April all the way up until probably next weekend. And there's probably 7 or 8 clinics
I
going
know
on.
you're cool like that, but I gotta have you be on your toes forward.
Tulsa, Albuquerque, Denver, all over the place. And this is really a widespread United States issue.
Obviously, that's a busy schedule. I'm taking, you're that serious about this subject that you don't mind the schedule.
Oh, I think it's important. It's a grassroots opportunity to really change the confidence in this game. And the game's been under attack for years with concussions and all these other kinds of things. We want to give parents and kids the reassurance that we're going to be doing things right and safety is important.
On our breakdown. Got the potato chip. Feet. Squeeze. Sink. Hands. Hit. Forward. Chop. Hit step. Okay? Stop right there. Okay? Everybody see that? Too wide. Okay? What else did he do when he took off? He false stepped. He went backwards. Okay? Wasted motion. Now the running back's got to step on him. Okay? Progression. Work on it. Be calm with your kids about it. It's going to be something new. You got to have them rolling forward so the first step's out here and not first step back here. Okay? We got 3 bags. If you guys can take a bag and set up a group over there, and Coach, will you grab a bag and set it right here? We can set up a group over here. So we'll have 3 bags and we'll go through this. I'm not used to this. Just be rolling through.
I never got hurt.
Remember, it's slick out here. Be careful. Feet.
Has it rained out here or something? I didn't want the field.
And the old men's conference. There'll be some liniment slung tonight and Tylenol PM.
That wasn't no chop. Somebody gonna save a Viagra pill.
And no Viagra.
Ain't nobody enjoying that.
Oh, Lord.
Same thing, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, coach Skip through it.
All right. Here goes the Geritol generator.
And coach them through it, and use them as an example. Don't feel like you have to be down on all fours and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, we don't want to get anybody banged up or get a defibrillator or anything else out there. Any other comments, questions with regard to the shoot drill? Things that you encountered as you were coaching guys through it?
I tell you
The
what,
natural feeling to want to
know
tuck
that box
that
of
those
t-shirts he
toes
got?
underneath. So that's one
can
thing,
I have
maybe
them?
not
I get
necessarily
into
for
my
young
coach.
kids, as they start to learn
They'll
how to
just bring them
play,
down
they
for
He
wanna
don't give you,
tuck
he
that
don't
toe
give you
underneath.
shit.
I done asked
He
for
may
one.
give you one or two.
Hey,
Got
rip
one
drill.
for Dwayne a while
And
ago.
we're gonna start.
One white one.
And this is what I was talking about. It's good to have a face mask on because you're basically putting your face into that hit and rip. And he's ripping up and through. You can
We
see
ain't got no dummies.
his face is right in the bag. And